Thursday evening after work, you know, you get a little tired, right? What's going on, guys? Canadian Off Road 4x4 here today, and I'm bringing you another little before and after video here just to see what it actually does here. I am not expecting any huge results, but wait for that to the end, I guess, right? So what do I got here? Well, the plastic is sucked into it, so that just tells you already it's a really good thing. This big old thing, if you already know what it is before I say it, well, you already read the title, so there's that. This thing's massive, guys. Like this is right over the GoPro, and there's still lots of room. So like, this is the Intake Flow Accelerator. It's a part of the TRD Toyota intake system that they consider an upgrade. This big old rubber piece definitely would be, I think. Where this piece goes is into your fender liner there, or not the fender liner, the fender itself. Right where the box is, that's where you get your cold air from on these things. So basically it replaces that little puny cup looking, scoop looking intake port there. So we're replacing it with a big old rubber piece here. So what we are going to look at is simply a couple things here. I'm going to try and find an air fuel ratio on my tuner here. What I can look at for sure right now, the intake temp. So the intake air temp there where it goes in there or whatever, so we'll keep an eye on that. Right now I'm sitting about 25 degrees, but I haven't been driving much, so I'm just idling. I have a MAF sensor reading as well, and on idle right now as it sits, my truck's fully warmed up. Right now I'm sitting at around the 2.2 mark. I have no idea what G/seconds mean. I'll probably find the edit for there in the 2 seconds there, but yeah, right now I'm running at about 2.2, 2.3. It fluctuates very much here. So as you guys can see here, here's my little handheld tuner I run. I could run my Ultra Gauge too, but I'd rather run this. That way I can just see everything 100% more. So there's the accuracy there. So I got the throttle position sensor, left bank, bank 1, bank 2, or bank 1s, I guess, whatever those are. MAF sensor, throttle acceleration, intake temp, vehicle speed, RPMs, ignition advance, coolant temp, and my calculation load there. So that's what I'm going to be running here to kind of keep an eye on the tests. You guys are going to be watching this befores and afters. I'm going out to my buddy's farm, so it's going to be a little bit of highway driving, so I'm going to get a constant number there and constant reading to see what that's all about there. I'll do a time-lapse video on that, I think, and get second shots there so that you can see everything there. That should work out really well there, instead of doing a whole 20-minute recording of that and then editing that, right? So we don't need that. So we're gonna do that, and we'll go from there. We'll see what it's like. I'm gonna change it at my buddy's farm there just before I leave and come back home. So it will be a little bit cooler at night, but we'll see how much cooler it really is. I mean, right now outside's only reading about 10 degrees Celsius, which is like 45 Fahrenheit. It's a little brisky, but I mean, to me, this is actually warm. I'm only wearing this because I just don't want to carry it around. So I'm going to go get some food. I got to get beer from a buddy, and we're going to hit the road, guys. So let's have some fun.
You got me trapped inside this spell. Now I feel like your demons drag me close to hell.
All right, guys, quick little update. I just finished putting on the Intake Accelerator. Pretty easy. I mean, you got a 10mm bolt for the hose clamp. You gotta pull that off, lift up the filter, take out the three 12mm bolts, take out the intake, and then for mine, being that I've never really taken it apart before, the plastic was quite stiff on it, and the dirt probably. So just take a little flat blade and pry off the two little tabs and pull it off. Simple as can be. The way I did it to put this on, you can do it either with it in, like, you put the tube through the truck and then slap in the intake, but the easiest way I think I found was you put the accelerator on the actual intake and then just kind of feed it through and then squish the rubber in through the hole, so that the bigger hole is on the outside of the fender, obviously there. So it was a little bit easier simply because I have no I cut my fender liner, so I'll show you guys here. Right there we go. So you can see the intake is right there. As you can also see that it's quite exposed for me, so I'm gonna definitely have to look at the snorkel next year. but that's just kind of how it looks right there. Just make I can kind of feed it back and through kind of thing to make sure it's all the way pushed in there. So make sure you do that, and then afterwards you just kind of make sure the tabs are all lined up there, the notches there, and you're good to go. So now let's go get some more readings. So just a quick update, just right off the bat, what I'm seeing. So the truck's almost warmed up, a couple degrees off. Before, when I was idling, I was only about 2.2 on idle there. Right now, what I saw, obviously now I'm driving, but just idling and almost 90 degrees or 88, whatever. And I was reading about 3.3 on the math readings. So 3.3 G/S. Like I said, I haven't remembered the definition yet for it. So just that's a quick update, but we will confirm that again when I get back into the city. But right now we're going to get you guys a time lapse of the driving now with the big accelerator. Alright guys, so just got back from driving. I'm just sitting in the parking lot here, just checking everything out, seeing how everything's reading. As the truck sits, I'm just trying to adjust the steering wheel so I can see. Idling began around the 600 mark, you know, whatever, like usual. And I'm reading 2.3 GS on the idle right now. 12% load, 20 intake temp, 22 ignition advance. It looks like it's reading the same. It's kind of jumping up to 2.4 almost a little bit. Not too sure why I was getting 2.8 for a little while there. But yeah, overall guys, it's reading pretty much the same there. So, can't honestly say if there's much of a difference at all when you put this little accelerator on, guys. So, I mean, I'll leave it up to you. Big shout out to my buddy Joseph for doing this, because he was working in the States for a bit, so he picked up a bunch of stuff, and I asked, and he told me to go on bamwholesale.com. Pretty good shipping. I mean, I got it. He got it in like 2 to 3 days, I think, after I ordered it. So, and it was about 50 Canadian, I think it paid, about 30 US. So with the shipping was like 10 bucks. So in other words, like 15 bucks for me. So, but yeah, way cheaper than me trying to order it from across the States and getting it here. It probably would have cost me like $100. Like I said, pretty easy to install on the box, and then just push the rubber in through, and then it'll just go right on out. Just make sure that it's also sitting all the way in there. When you bolt the box back up, you're gonna have to kind of tilt it, I think, forward a bit. That's what I had to do at least. So, but otherwise, I mean, it's a pretty simple swap. I think the biggest thing you want to do, I would do both for sure, because it is a bigger piece. Like, I mean, you can fit the stock one into the TRD one. It's definitely beating the price, because like I said, I only paid 50 bucks. Retail on the TRD intakes here, the whole system, I think is like 600. So 50 bucks for that. And then I want to get the intake tube as well, but I don't think I will. I think what I'll get is the HPS intake tube, and that's only like 150 bucks, and it's a silicone tube. So I kind of like the look of that more. So I think that's the biggest restriction out of the whole intake system. I've got the AFE dry filter in there, but I'm gonna have to replace that soon. So that might be screwing it up a bit, because it's kind of a beat up filter after all these years too. Yeah, you guys let me know what you guys think about this. Do you think the intake accelerator is worth it? Or do you think it's maybe just a cosmetic piece? It's hard to say. So I tried to give you guys as accurate readings as I could. Said as it's idling right now, again, still it's sitting around that 2.2 mark. Intake temp didn't seem to drop much. It's only 3 some degrees cooler on the truck we're going by. And right now I'm idling, and I've been for a while, and it's reading 22 degrees Celsius. So, and if I remember correctly, when I watched my truck the other day, when I was looking at it randomly, and it was around the same temperature, probably like 11, 15 degrees, something like that in Celsius, so about 50. I was reading about 15, 16 degrees, which what I was running on there. So it doesn't seem to cool the intake temp much, but I'll keep an eye on that. But as for the whole MAF reading, it seems like it maybe brings it back to what it was, but at the same time, maybe it opens the door for more. I'm not no expert, but I'm just giving you guys if I saw any differences between the two. So have a good one. Oh, and there's no sound difference. I can't tell at all. I mean, the truck revs at $6,000, so it's hard to hear anything as it is, unless it's probably the intake tube that I swap out eventually. So easy, guys. Later.